Hi, I'm Ola Englund, and you're watching GuitarMessenger.com.
Perfect. Hey guys, Ivan here with GuitarMessenger.com. We're at NAMM 2014, and right now I'm hanging out with the one and only Ola Englund. How's it going, man?
All good. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So how's the NAMM show been treating you?
It's been very busy. We're launching both my signature amplifier with Randall, the Satan, and also my Washburn Solar series. So it's two things at the same time. But at least they're in the same booth, so I don't really need to jump around that much. But it's been busy, and meetings and interviews and just hanging around, shaking people's hands, sanitizer, shaking people's hands.
You got quite a busy year ahead of you. You got a new release with The Haunted.
Yep.
You're doing stuff with Feared.
Yep.
And of course you're running your YouTube channel, which, I don't know how you manage it because, I do a lot of video work as well, and I know it takes a lot of time to do all that.
Does.
So.
It does.
So how do you balance everything?
I mean, it's I have pretty good work ethic from, I quit my job 2 years ago. Before that, I was working as an accountant. So, I had a lot of responsibilities, and I working 8 to 5, really good, just a lot of responsibility. And that work ethic, I brought that into what I do now. So I try to keep everything. I try to keep myself disciplined. If I start at 8, I walk my son to daycare, and at 4:30 I pick him up. So in between that area, I work my ass off, and then after 4:30 I just have family time. And I think it's really important for results that I have this time every day, and don't really overwork on weekends and stuff like that. I'm very good at planning. I think it's all about planning, really, and time management. But it's hard. But nowadays, you really need to work your ass off if you want to be able to support your family with it. So, and there's no room for fuck ups.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's rough.
No, but I like the fact that you mentioned that it's also important that you don't overwork on weekends.
Right.
I find that time off is almost as important as time when you're working hard.
Definitely. I mean, a big source of my inspiration is my family, my wife, and my son, right? So, having that downtime at the weekends and on evenings is very important for me to get productive during the weekdays. And they keep me going, and they keep my spirit up, and they're my biggest fans, and it really likes it. It's so easy in a way. I have it very easy because my life outside my work is so awesome, and my work is also awesome. So it's.
I agree.
It might sound like it's hard work, but it's not for me because I'm really having a good time doing it, and I don't want to show off, but my life is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, living the dream, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Playing guitar, making videos, and having that be your living, and then have a family.
Trying it at least once.
Man.
A lifetime.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit about your workflow. Like on a typical day when you sit down to work, how do you plan out some of your videos, or if you decide to be recording?
Right. A typical work day would start with me grabbing my cup of coffee, checking Facebook. Make sure I read all the messages, answer all the people I can, my fans and followers that ask me questions, and just make sure that everyone's happy. And that's also something I consider really important, just to answer quick with emails, and because I want to show that I'm a professional and I'm sincere with what I do. I don't really want to keep anyone waiting. And then after that, on a Monday, for instance, I try to plan the whole week. Like, okay, I got a new product coming from a company A. On the Tuesday, I'll dedicate my whole Wednesday for doing the video, recording, and video editing. Mm-hmm. I do have a problem doing several things a day, so I usually pick out days where I do the video editing. I pick up like another day to practice guitar, or practice The Haunted, or mainly having a day just writing songs. Yeah, that's basically how I do it, and that's what I do every week when I'm not touring. That is.
So I think you brought up an interesting point that you're not really multitasking ever. You set aside a time.
I think so, because
yeah.
at least for writing, for me, it's like I get into a kind of flow, and I want to keep up the momentum. So I start my day with writing, because it kind of sucks if I've been playing guitar all day, just practicing, and then I try to write songs at 2 o'clock, and I get into a really cool flow, get some really awesome riffs, and then at 4:30 I need to go to pick up my son. So I kind of like having being focused on one thing every day. Right, it's easier for me.
Yeah. So how'd you first get into that? Because, not all of us can just say, okay, I'm going to try making my living right now. I'm going to hit up a company and see if they can pay me to talk about my gear. How'd you get started with it?
Well, it was actually right after my first NAMM 2 years ago.
Okay.
Because before that I hadn't really been out, and I hadn't really met any of my followers. I didn't even know how big I was. Facebook isn't real. It's just a bunch of names on a screen. You have no idea who these people are. So NAMM 2012 was my first time being out amongst people, and I was kind of blown away about how many people recognized me and wanted to come hang with me and like take pictures and all that. So I was like, whoa, I might be onto something, and apparently people like what I do. So basically, when I got home, I already had plans to like cut down on my accountant job to do both, really. But after that, I decided, okay, I'll quit my job entirely, and just focus on this. Pretty funny. Just after that, Chris Barnes gave me a call and asked me to join 6 Feet Under. So I got off pretty easy. It was pretty perfect opportunity for me to go out on tour for a year. So. That was basically my first year, just touring and playing with 6 Feet Under and recording albums and all that. So it didn't really end up the way I planned. I planned to do videos, but it became more of a touring thing, which is cool. I got a kind of a crash course in touring. We did a couple of US tours, a couple of European tours in 2012, and it was a really fun experience, especially for me. I hadn't toured before, so staying at a tour bus and smelling disgusting and all that. So I'm never looking back. At least right now, I can't go back to a desk job. It's not.
I don't blame you.
No, no. I'll try and do this as long as I can. But times change. You got to just adapt to whatever the situation you're in.
Do you see more touring in your near future?
I see not as much as with 6 Feet Under, but with The Haunted, when I joined The Haunted, they made pretty clear to me that they were not after like long tours. They're all older. They have day jobs, so they're doing more like exclusive festivals, fly-in shows. And to be honest, that's perfectly fine with me, because the hard part about touring is being away from my son and my family. So. Now it's even more perfect now. We go away on weekends, play a couple of shows and here and there, and it's basically a better, a more fitting band for me in that way. Now I will also start doing clinics now in this year for Randall and Washburn. So I will travel a lot, and but mainly just shorter runs, so I don't get to be apart from my son that much. So I'm very happy with the outcome of how it is right now.
For sure. I'm curious a little bit about the business model in this kind of line of work, because I think people are familiar with how record labels work, for example, or publishing deals. This is something a little bit different that I don't think has been discussed as much. So what are these relationships like with the gear companies, and how does that work? Did you first take on, did you decide just I'm going to review some things and see what happens?
Right.
Or
I mean, it all started, demoing started as a hobby. I was recording amps because I like gear. I mean, I love gear.
Yeah.
To even say that. So I recorded amps, and then people wanted me to record their amps. And I live in Stockholm, which is a pretty big town, and there are a lot of guitar players there, and they all have the amps. So I kind of drove around Stockholm and suburbs and picking up amps and leaving amps and recording, and like that was just for fun, But eventually, brands picked it up and like, whoa, okay, this guy got a lot of hits and he kind of makes our stuff sound good. So they kind of started to like, hey man, we can send you this amp, you can tell me what you think and do a demo or something like that. So eventually it kicked in where other brands send me their amps instead. So I don't really have to drive around anymore. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But about the model, I guess, yeah, it's a new business model, but it's, you make your own business model, I would say. You know, in my case, I'm my own boss and I decide what I do. So if I don't really want to do demos anymore, I can stop it right now and just do music, go tour and all that. So that's the freedom I have is worth so much, And same goes with like record deals. Feared, for instance, isn't on any label. It's just me doing everything,
Right.
I'm printing everything, I'm marketing everything, and it leaves me with such a freedom to do whatever I want, And I can do my own time. I have my own time limits, and I can I can see that the month of November to December I don't have any tours or anything like that, so I can plan. Okay, I can try and write my own album now and release it a bit later. So I just take it as it comes, the time, and I'm really liking the way I am right now. With I have both bands that I work with. The Haunted is on Century Media, so I'm glad that I have that. So I get a kind of an insight how it really works with a record label. So I have that, but I also have the freedom of Feared to do whatever I want.
Right. What are you listening to these days?
This past year I've been listening a lot to David Max and Mikic, and the Bilo Free, his album, and it's
amazing.
It's amazing, and that's just one guy in Serbia, I think, or from Serbia, and I mean just the production and all his songwriting, it's all just perfect, and it's like that's so inspiring for a guy like me. I kind of see where he's coming from. He's doing it all by himself.
Right.
He releases the album for himself, and I mean, it's so inspiring to see someone else do the exact same thing and doing it so well. So that's mainly what I've been listening to the past year since it's been released. I'm also listening to the latest Carcass, which I think is a really good comeback album. I really hope the Haunted could do a comeback album like that. So that's also something really awesome that I'm really impressed by, how you can really come back with such a awesome album, after all these years. And that's basically it. It's both Mel and both, the gents kind of instrumental stuff that Bilo is about. So that's it.